Hello, welcome to Spread Book Joy. April is full of readathons, and not counting my own one, I'm going to do some piles of possibilities for two amazing readathons, Trans Girl April and People April. If you're new here, I'm Jack. If you're not, welcome back. And today, my Trans Girl April pile of possibilities and my People April pile of possibilities, and these will cross over with my own readathon, which is Picture This. Now, I haven't got my Picture This pile of possibilities video ready yet. I was going to do it all together with both of these marvellous readathons because they all tie in so beautifully with each other, but I've kind of still got some picture books to get as yet. So I'm going to do my Trans Girl April pile of possibilities, which may have some picture books I've already got, which I'm going to talk about, and then I'm going to talk about my People April possibilities as well. So as always, these are piles of possibilities because I don't like to force myself to read things I'm not in the mood for, but I love to do this kind of pile of possibilities, like window shopping, if you like. It's kind of like just a lovely wish list of things that I would like to get to if I have the time, or like, you know, I love putting together book lists, and I want to promote both of these amazing readathons because they are fantastic. Let's get into it. I think I'm going to talk about Trans Girl April first. So Trans Girl April is being run by two marvellous booktubers, Kevy at Say Kevy, who is a gorgeous friend, and I love her, and I've watched Kevy, gosh, since she's been on BookTube, or not long after she started on BookTube, but in the time I've been on BookTube, feel like I've been watching Kevy. So she's absolutely marvellous. And Willow at Books and Bow is a booktuber I have watched, not as regularly as Kevy, but yeah, they've put together this amazing readathon, and it is to celebrate all things trans and to support the trans community. So I am here for that. So let's talk about the readathon and how it's organised. All details for their announcement videos will be in the description box below. So there are 9 prompts, 1 to 9, for the Trans Girl April readathon, and it's organised like a bingo board, like a tic-tac-toe type thing, or noughts and crosses as we would call it here in the UK. So we've got, you can have any fiction, non-fiction or genre fiction by a trans woman, trans man or non-binary author. So we've got this up here, so you can kind of cross off if you've got sort of fiction by a trans man, etc, etc. You can cross it off on the prompts board. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fill all of these prompts, but I'm going to tell you about the things I'm interested in reading, and lots of them are recommendations, and one of them is one of the group reads for Trans Girl April. But the most important prompt, I think, is that prompt 0 is to denounce fascism in all its forms and to announce your support of the trans community across social media. So at least let me just make sure I've got that wording right. Yeah, so it says denounce fascism and pledge your support of trans people across social media. So here, I denounce fascism in all its forms. Oppression of people for political agendas is abhorrent, and forcing your issues and your agenda and making people conform and live lives in secret and to be oppressed, and it's just horrific. So I denounce fascism. And I also pledge my support to the trans community, and I want to say right here and now, I am a trans ally, and so is this channel. I think the trans community are having a horrific time. There is far too much scrutiny on that community. There are too many people who feel that for some reason that people living their truth and their life and being who they are is somehow damaging to other people. I just can't fathom why people think that way and why people behave the way they do. So that's me pledging my support for the trans community. Now, in terms of the books that I've got on my TBR and or my pile of possibilities, I'm going to talk about them now. They might not fit every single prompt here because I'm not sure if I've got something for every single prompt, but there are 2 group reads, and one of them I absolutely love. I read it before. It's Felix Ever After by Case and Calendar, and I'm going to put a link to my review video that I did. I think I reviewed it last year or the year before. It's a great book, and apparently one of the most banned books in America, so try and read it if you can. It's a great book. But the other book sounds fantastic, and it is Any Other City by Hazel Jane Plant, and it is about I believe it's about a trans woman, and we get 2 timelines, one in the 90s when she's trying to make it as a musician in a rock band or a band of some kind, and then in the present day where she is a famous music star. So yeah, I'm really into the idea of that. I'm going to try and seek out that book because I think it's important, as Kevy pointed out in her announcement video, to support trans authors so that publishers know that trans narratives and trans books are in demand. I'm going to be buddy reading Akwaeke Emezi's You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty, which is, I think it's like hot girl summer kind of romance, which is not normally my bag. I read Pet, which is a YA novel that they wrote. Akwaeke Emezi is a non-binary author, and I have got The Death of Vivek Oji, which was sent by Gemma, who I'm going to be buddy reading this with. But yeah, so I'm really interested in reading this. Look at this stunning copy, absolutely lovely. And another book I picked up the last week was Welcome to St. Hell, My Trans Teen Misadventure. So this is one of the Waterstones children's books of the year finalists, and it's like in the YA category, and it's all it's by Lewis Hancock, and his graphic memoir of growing up as a trans teen and transitioning to a trans man, and he's talking to his teen self, Lois, who doesn't yet know that he's a boy. So yeah, it's supposed to be fabulous, supposed to be really funny, but also a bit heartbreaking at points. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Then I picked up, this is a second-hand copy. I've been looking for a Strange Worlds travel agency for a while, because LD Lipinski is also a non-binary author who lives here in the UK and has written Strange Worlds travel agency books, which are supposed to be awesome, middle grade fantasy, and there is a non-binary character within them. And then I found brand new LD Lipinski's Jamie, which is about a child who is non-binary and thinking about going to secondary school, and yet there's only a boys' secondary school and a girls' secondary school, and they're wondering where they fit in. So yeah, this is supposed to be, well, it looks very exciting. I think it's supposed to be. I haven't read any reviews of it. It just looks very, very exciting. So I also like to read The Light from Uncommon Stars by Rika Aoki, who is a trans queer Asian American woman. So yeah, so I think that fits in nicely with the genre fiction, because it is a sci-fi kind of cozy fantasy from what I gathered from Kevi's review. I've wanted to read this since Kevi said it was one of her books of 2022, and it's kind of apparently Becky Chambers-esque kind of story, so I'm really looking forward to reading that. I've got two picture books for Picture This that are on my Trans Girl April TBR. One of them is I'm Not a Prince, and this is by Rachel Davis and Beatrix Hatcher, and it is all about a pond of frogs where they're expected to be kissed and become princes, but one of them doesn't want to be a prince. And I won't spoil the ending for you, because I'm probably going to do a review of it, but how cute is this? And this was another Waterstones Children's Book of the Year finalist. My other Trans Girl April Picture This crossover book is this gorgeous one by Laura Kate Dale and illustrated by Ang Hui King, and it is Me and My Dysphoria Monster. So I'm looking forward to getting into that one, and that is about a child coping with gender dysphoria. Kevi had recommended this to me ages ago, and yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that one. So my non-fiction read is Alexandra Billings' This Time for Me. Editing Jack here, don't know why, but filming Jack completely forgot that I also had one other non-fiction pick, which was of course Welcome to St. Hell, the graphic, which I've wanted to read for absolutely ages, because Kevi says that she has the most amazing life story. So I don't really know much about Alexandra Billings, but she is an American actress and performer, and I've never sort of experienced any of her work, but it sounds like she has an amazing story. So the Alexandra Billings book is my People April and Trans Girl April pick, so that segues nicely into moving on to People April. I'm going to put all the links and things you need for Trans Girl April in the description box below. People April is run by the lovely Elizabeth over at Bouquins and Books, and Roz at Scally Dandling about the books, both of whom are fantastic booktubers and lovely people. Go and subscribe to them if you're not already, and I will leave the link to their announcement videos and TBRs and things in the description box. But yeah, this is a lovely readathon all around reading non-fiction about people. So it could be autobiography, biography, memoir, diaries, letters. It could be about one person or a group of people. It could be whatever, however you want to interpret it, but it's non-fiction about people and the lives of people. There are a number of prompts, but all you're required to do is read one book. You don't need to read more than one. There are a number of prompts to try and inspire you, and they're really fun because they're based on quotations which are actually misattributed to people. They weren't really said by these people. So one is, someone will remember us, I say, even in another time, supposedly from Sappho, but not. And Sappho was an ancient Greek poet. Let them eat cake, Marie Antoinette. And we all know who Marie Antoinette was, the last Queen of France, I believe, was beheaded. And then have patience, go where you must go and hope, which they've said it's Martin Luther King, but it's not. It's actually from Lord of the Rings. But yes, you've got Martin Luther King. So you could read that could be a book about a political activist or a leader of some kind. Marie Antoinette, you could read about royalty or read a historical biography, or letters from a historical period. Then you've got Stupid is knowing the truth, seeing the truth, but still believing the lies, Morgan Freeman, who didn't actually say that. But then you've got an actor, so you could read, an actor or an actor's biography, or you could read a memoir of someone in show business or whatever. So they've got all these prompts. Now, I've got books. They will all somehow fit the prompts if you want them to. And I do have at least one picture book and some recommendations for picture books for People April if you are taking part in Picture This and People April. Editing Jack here, completely forgot to do these recommendations, so I'm going to pop them in here. This is my recommendations for people who want to take part in Picture This and People April and want to do a crossover. These gorgeous little People Big Dreams biographies, and they have a huge range of people from the past and present. I think there's about 60 something of these by now. I have the David Bowie one, which is super, super cute. So first of all, I have got this lovely biography of Tom Felton, Beyond the Wand, which I was sent by the lovely Danny from Danny's Bookwell for Christmas, and I'm desperate to get into this, so I think I'm going to probably hit this one actually, because I really want to read his biography. Apparently it's a wonderful, wonderful book. Then I have got, and I've got the audiobook of this as well, Stanley Tucci's Taste. If you haven't watched Stanley Tucci's programme about his travels in Italy with his wife and his family, he goes over with his parents, then you are, if you like food, you like travel, if you like Stanley Tucci, you're in for a treat. You have to go and watch it. So this is the book, which is kind of memoirs of the food with recipes to make the food, which, awesome. Then I have Becoming by Michelle Obama. Don't think I need to introduce this, but it's her autobiography and apparently amazing. So apparently it's better than Barack Obama's. So yeah, Gemma sent me this from Gemma Books. So I've got that. And of course, I have the obligatory David Bowie biographies that are sitting on my TBR. Dylan Jones' David Bowie Alive, which is all sort of told through the eyes of people who knew him. It's all through interviews and excerpts with people who actually knew him in true life. And I've had this on my TBR for far too long, and yeah, I'm doing the Sound and Vision project with a few people, a few booktubers, so this would fit in nicely with my Sound and Vision project. I've also got this gorgeous illustrated David Bowie's life story. So this is by Maria Hess and Fran Ruiz and is translated by Ned Sublet. I think it will count for Picture This, but it might. I mean, look how stunning is this? Absolutely stunning. Some of these pictures. What will count for Picture This, and it's a book that I got last year, and I want to read it again this year for Picture This, and I want to do a review of it because it is so, so beautiful, and I love the idea of it. And it is a memoir of sorts. It's a memory that was told to David Almond. So David Almond, if you're not aware of him, is a fabulous, highly regarded children's and YA author here in the UK, and his most famous book is probably Skellig, which was turned into an amazing TV film starring Tim Roth. So David Almond is from the northeast of England, in Northumberland, and Levi Pinfold is an amazing illustrator. I'm going to show you some of these illustrations while I talk about this book, but this is a story told to David Almond by this little girl here when she was a grown up and a woman, and her father, and they're folk musicians from Northumberland. And in the 70s and 80s, the Kielder Valley, they built a huge dam in the Kielder Valley and they flooded it. But the valley was home to some farmsteads and a school. There were villages there. The person is called Catherine Tickell, or Tickell, Tickell. Yeah, Catherine Tickell and Mike Tickell, and they're folk musicians, and that's her father, Mike. And he woke her on the morning, a few weeks before the valley was flooded, I think, and took her there to play some music and to like commemorate and leave some music there for the people that had lost their homes and things. And I just thought it was just such a poignant, beautiful idea, and it's been encapsulated in this story by David Almond and the beautiful images by Levi Pinfold. So this is perfect for People April and for Picture This. I just want to show you some of the images. So it says, once the dam is finished, the land will be flooded, but before it is lost forever, Catherine and her father return to the still and silent valley and fill their empty homes with one final song. And if you listen closely, you can still hear it, a song for all that was and all that will never be. How beautiful is that? He woke her early. Bring your fiddle, he said. Isn't that stunning? So this is the pictures of them filling the houses with music, the empty houses, the valley that's about to be flooded. Birds heard, the beasts heard, the earth heard, the trees heard, the ghosts heard. The day was darkening, out of the valley they walked. So those are my choices for People April and Trans Girl April. And picture this as well, some of them, though my picture this pile of possibilities or TBR will be coming soon. Given that it's my own readathon, I'm sorry that I haven't put out suggestions or pile of possibilities for you, but it's been a lot recently. However, I will be doing a lot more picture this content over the coming weeks. Reviews of the books I'm reading, TBRs on my illustrator spotlight, maybe more than one illustrator spotlight, we'll see. So are you taking part in these readathons? If not, why not? They're awesome. Leave a comment below and hopefully I will see you again here soon. Bye.